3, 2, 1. You are looking live. Today I gave my AI trading robot Phil $2.5 million to trade 0DT SPX. But you know what? The market is closed for 0DT SPX. So he's going to take a look at the futures doing the crazy Ivan. We've got about 5 minutes until the open. My name is Rob Helmick, and if you don't have a real trading system, we are the channel for you. If you don't trust yourself trading, we are the channel for you. If you want to use AI robots to trade, we are the channel for you. I will be trading over 30,000. There it is right there. 30,000 AI robot trades in the 0DT SPX this year alone. I think in the last 150 days, I've traded right around 25,000 times. It might even be 40,000 times before this year is over. If you feel like you're forcing trades, I'm going to show you how you don't have to do that. If you feel like you're not in control, I'm going to show you how you can get in control. And if you trade emotionally, if you trade in anger, revenge trading, I'll help you get over that. And if you don't understand all the risks, on this channel, we're going to talk about it a lot. We do have a chat room, and you can come into our chat room anytime you want, and you can see exactly what it is that we're doing. It is a safe space. No one will bother you there. It is a great time. If you're with us Monday through Friday at 3:25 p.m., not only is the chat room a fun place to go, but you'll be able to go into the chat room and you'll be able to tell me how to spend $600. I will trade live at a minimum a two lot of a $300 trade, either a put credit spread or a call credit spread, and you get to tell me which way you want me to go. We've been doing that for about 60 days. I think it's up $6,000, $7,000. So I do appreciate that. We give that to our dog Barbie so that she can have some new treats. Let's see who we've got in the chat room. I see RJL is in there and Aaron Blackjack. I see Dean Osborne. I'm not sure if that's a new person or not. That's great. Kyle's in there. I hear that it's cold in the beaches in Delaware. I'm sorry to hear that, Kyle. It rained here today, so I did not get a chance to go surfing, but I did get a chance to work a lot on my trading and to figure out more and more back testing. I back tested millions of trades. Typically, I back test around 7 million trades in a weekend, and this weekend, I probably have double or tripled that. So my goal is to get the data. Let's real quickly, if you might want to ask, well, how has it been going with our trading? Just a quick recap. By the way, the futures market is going to be opening here at 6 p.m. East Coast time. It'll be closing tomorrow 11:30, and then it will reopen tomorrow at 6 p.m. No SPX tomorrow because of Memorial Day, and then we'll get to a regular session on Tuesday. Everything we do is AI built. It's all robot managed. 28,000 trades I've made so far in 151 trading days, about almost $700,000 profit. Here's a chart of the account that started as $1 million. It's got about $2.5 million in. I did add 800,000 to it, so the profit is about 700 grand. And here is the smaller account that started at 30, and I think it's up about $21,000, so it's about $51,000. All right, there I see SMYTE01. I think you're new to the account. Yes, you're looking for the PDT rules to change, and I am going to do a whole bunch of stuff with $5,000 accounts and show you how you can use robots and 0DTE in the future. This is our $30,000 account, and it has had a spectacular rate of run, and you can see that we've done 4,400 trades in that in 151 days, and there's no reason why we can't do almost the same thing in the smaller account. Check us out on Instagram if you're interested in that. Tyler, my son, runs that. I have not looked at it, nor do I know anything about it, but they tell me it's great. And if you want our newsletter, go to tradingdeskcapital.com, and you can sign up for Maria's newsletter. She sent out 2. You can get the 2 old ones if you want, and then the third one's supposed to be coming out, I think, pretty soon. She was working on it today, I know, trying to make it even better. In 151 days, we've done pretty good. I want to check the time. We got about 1 minute to go. Here's how much we're making per day. Our drawdown is only 3.8% now. Sharp ratio is great. We've never lost more than 5 days in a row. Here's the monthly, which is pretty good. We're down about $516 in May, but the month is not over. Let's go into this is my live account here. You can see exactly how I've been doing. We're waiting for this to open. We've got about 30 seconds to go. And we are going to see that open. Here are my crazy Ivan positions right now. You can see there, I usually close these at 25% profit, but for some reason I have not done that. Let's get into the cut. There it is. So it tells you where I should be closing these out. That's Dan Sheridan's favorite. I got to take that off of there. But here we go. Get ready. Let's see what happens to this market here. It's about ready to open. 10 seconds to go. If you think it's what do you think today? It's going to be up or down? It's going to be light. I'm thinking up, but you never know. It's about a 50-50 chance. Put down a W if you think it's going to be, put down a U if you think it's going to be up, and put out a D if you think it's going to be down before the end of the show in the next 15 minutes. Wow, there we go. I'm going to guess up now because this thing has skyrocketed to the upside. We opened up, look at this. We opened, I don't even know if I can get it on here. We opened up 168 points. Where is it? Where is that thing on here? I don't even see it yet. There it is. Look at that. It's way up there. Are you kidding me? I think this thing is, well, look at that. I bet these crazy Ivans, look at that. I just picked, $165. Those dirty dogs, they have not started to close down the spread. For the first 2 minutes of trading, they don't have to minimize the spreads. So I bet these spreads are huge. Yeah, look at this. Normally, I'm going to see a spread of $3 to $4, and look at those dirty dogs are getting us for $11. Those SO sons of guns. We don't want to say it on Tasty, but I mean on YouTube. But let's see about this one. Where's this one at? This one is at, look at these, $20, $30. There's no way I'm trading that. There's no way I'm trading that, even though it's up a lot. This is going to go up a lot more as these numbers come together. And you can see one of the things I like to look at is what's the last trade. Let's see, what the last traded at. Here's the last price. So you can see last price is $129.50. That's really where that price should be. I'm not sure that it's closed any yet today. Let's take a look and just see what this thing does. Up 197. This is still going to the upside. Wow, here it is right here. If you're interested, you can see the number. Oh, I am loving this. Look at this to the upside. Although I either hope for a 300-point down day because then I can go in. If you haven't seen my Crazy Ivans before, this is what I will normally do. I'll go in on the Crazy Ivan. I'll look out 45 to 60 days. So I'd be somewhere like at this 47-day mark. I haven't done any of these. And I would go to the 12 Delta. So let's go to the 12 Delta here, somewhere around here. And 12 Delta is going to be right in here-ish, right there. But I don't like 26.9. I don't like the 9s. I like 750, 1000s, 250s, 500s. So I move it right here. And look at this. Look at this spread. There's no freaking way I'm touching that. This should be, if I'm going to sell this right now, I should be selling this around 200, not about 181. If you want to see how I've done in the past, just to get an idea of these things, is here I was selling them to open for 195 and 200. Then I was buying them back to close for 30. So let me say that again. I was selling them for 190. So I was bringing in 190, and then I was selling them for 130. That's a huge, huge profit. And that happens, normally I get 25% every 14 days. That's why I like these a lot. So here I'm selling them for 30 and 40 and 13, and then buying them back for 18. Then I'm selling them for 195. Then I'm buying them back for 16. I'm selling them for 184. And I'm 194. Look at that, 200. I'm selling them for 195, 205, 215, 260. I'm selling them for the next day. I sold them for 260, and the next day I'm buying them back for 42. Then I'm selling them at 216. I'm buying them back the next day for 38 and 33. The next day I'm selling them for 138, and then I'm buying them back for, well, I haven't bought them back. They're still hanging out there. So that's what I do on this stuff. It has been a trade I have been doing since 2020. My wife, Maria, she figured out that trade. There she is right there. She figured out that trade in 2020. She was a house flipper and a banker for many, many years, and number one female house flipper in the United States. There she is. And she figured out a way to trade options when we didn't even know what puts and calls were in 2020. And she started doing that, made $4 million her first year, and was pretty happy with that. But then she actually made like $5.6 million the first year and then lost $1 million in a month and said, okay, enough of that. And we sat down and really started studying it and came up with a lot of different ways. And we went to Tasty Trade and were interviewed there a lot, spent a lot of time with them, with Tom and with Tony and Nick and Mike Butler and all those guys. Scott Sheridan is a good friend of ours to this day. And they all said, what's the best trade? Gun to your head, one trade only the rest of your life. And they all said the same thing. They said an ES, naked put, as long as you know how to manage it, which is extremely difficult to do. And I would not recommend this for anybody, by the way. But they said that. And then Maria figured out she could make more money doing the Qs. And we've been doing the Qs ever since. One thing I do want to say is our attorneys told us to tell you every single time, this is for entertainment purposes only. This is for education purposes only. Doing what we do is extremely risky. If you followed us without doing any due diligence and decisions on your own, you probably will lose all of your money. It is absolutely positively not financial advice. Do not do anything based upon what we tell you today. Check it out yourself. But if you want to follow us, tomorrow, not today, but tomorrow, we will give out our trades. We're not finished looking at them for this week, but we'll give you out the trades for the entire week. And when we do, the outcome that you're going to see is exactly this, right? Where we made 91,000. We gave out all the trades when we made $90,000 in October. We gave out all the trades when we made 69 in November and 142,000 in December. We only made 4,000 in January, but then we bounced back with 105,000 in February, 57,000 in March, and 186,000 in April. And we're down $516 in May, but this is not over. And that includes our largest day loss ever, which was 94,000 on the 147th day. This will be day 152, I believe, on Tuesday. Let's look in the chat room and see what else we've got to see here. I'm going to bring up this. Let's see. I'd like to see where are we now? We're up 205 points. Wow. This thing is going to level off, and let's take a look and see if those dirty dogs start balancing out their books. Now, they still don't. I don't like it when market makers are making this wide of a profit. It's a low volume day. I get it, but this is not really fair. This is not a true market, and so I'm not going to participate in this. If it gets down to $4 or $5, I'll participate. So let's see what it says in the chat room. Kyle says the northern beaches are cold. Malachi says Maria's shoes, and Tyler's Porsche, and Barbie, our dog, say hello. I see Neil loves me. I haven't seen Neil in here before. Hello, Neil. Welcome to the chat room. RJL was Delawarean born and raised. I'm ready for the PDT rules. Yep, we talked about that. Other than Zero DT and Crazy Ivan, do you do any other trades consistently? What are they? Absolutely not. I don't. I make around 52% as my average rate of return. This year, I'm probably more towards 180%. My bank pays me 4% if I want interest on my money. I have a high risk tolerance compared to most people, but these are the trades that I do. Maria's going to be, she's a much better trader than me, and Maria's going to be trading, 15 or 20 stocks at any one time. She does a lot of earnings plays. She does a lot of naked puts and put credit spreads and call credit spreads. She uses Vera, her AI robot that she built herself, and she uses Vera 6 or 8 hours a day, constantly talking to her and revising her trades, sending all of her positions up to Vera. I think she's working on doing it in real time as well through an API at Tasty Trades. I know she's working with them to make that even better. So that's what she does. Tyler, my 30-year-old son, he does a lot of scalping. He scalps the Qs and is really good at it. If you haven't traded with the scalping, it is kind of fun. Here's the scalping. Let me just show you. Here is the scalping, I don't know what you call it, the interface maybe. Here is the interface. It's not available for SPX. Great. Well, let's take a look at what it is for the Qs. How about that? Oh, I got to put it in here. I always get that mixed up. All right, so NQ, here we go. So NQ, all right, so if you wanted to trade this thing, you could get this down here, and I would move it up a little bit. And so then, I would move it out a little bit so it's a little bit thicker. You can see what the heck's going on. And then you can go in here and you can say, okay, I want to buy a limit order. Say, I don't know where this market is at right now. Where is it at right now? It's going to be between these two things. Say I put in a limit order right here, and I could go in and submit this limit order, and I would make a trade. I would be making a trade on that. It would not be let's see if I can do I don't want to just do a limit order. Normally, I want to do one triggers the other order. There we go. That's what I want. I want to do my preset. So, okay. And so let's see. I don't know if I want to use $3 million worth of buying power. Let's see what I got here. So here I'm going to use, what kind of buying power I'm going to use here. I'm going to use about $39,000 worth of buying power. And this count's got about 3.1 million or something in it. So that's a pretty reasonable trade. I like trades to be at least under 1% of anything that I do. And so that's going to be a pretty reasonable trade. And I would go ahead and scalp those. And then he goes, scalps them, and then he gets out within a minute or so. And I am not skilled at that. Tyler is very skilled at it, but I am not. Let's see what else we got in the chat room. Amen, it says. DMD says you. Up. There you guys are all predicting up, and they're right. Does your screen show the date you opened the CI? Is wondering how long? Yes, it does show that. So here, you know what? Let me just quickly change this. This went on 9 days. Somebody in the chat room, tell me, what was the date 9 days ago? I need to know what day in May it was 9 days ago. It's probably 3 days before this one, which is so. Anyway, here it says days open. You can see here very clearly. Here's the days to expiration. Here is the extrinsic that if it stays out of the money, this is how much more money I'll make, another $9,600. And when I put it on, I got paid $17,000. So you can see today I made $852. I probably made a lot more because of the stupid spread, and I have it set. I think I have it spread to the bid, so what people are actually willing to pay for it, the lower side of it. And since I opened these, there's just 4 of them. I can have up to 65 in this account. I never trade more than 30% at any one time. And so I always keep that low because the buying power can triple. If you get an extremely bad market, it's not uncommon 3 times a year for it to double. However, just so you can see, Crazy Ivan trades. I've made 255 of these, 151 days. I have won every single one except for one in November, and I rolled that down and out, and I closed it in December for a 25% profit. So every single one I've done for the last 151 days, I've closed for a profit, and these remaining 4 look like they're going to be profitable as well. I've made about $482,000. That's in addition to the $700,000 I've made in the SPX. So yes, trading desk got capital. Yeah, we get it. Okay. So here we go. Here's a pretty quick summary of the 0 DTEs. 151 days in the 0 DTEs, we've made about $700,000, and in the Crazy Ivans, we made another $400,000. So the balance has been around 1.1 million. I don't trade based on news. The 0 DTs that I do, I don't trade on news. I don't trade on Trump. I don't trade in CPI, BPI, FOMC. I don't look at charts. All I do is math by back testing and looking at where the whole way this system works is that there are a whole group of people, let's call them the herd, that they're not stupid. They're just ill-informed. They're not informed. And so they're all selling somewhere because of the groupthink of the internet, and they're selling premium for $1, okay? And there are very few people over here selling the same premium for $1.25. So they're selling at 9:47 in the morning. These people over here at 10:15, for example, are selling for $1.25. These people are selling for $1. So I just want to find out from the back testing, where has it been? Where are the people that are making the most money? Where are they trading? And that's where I want to trade this week. I understand it's not 100. It's like, Rob, the last 6 months doesn't predict what's going to happen tomorrow. No, it doesn't. But if you ever watch TV on finance, you'll see a million people on there saying, tomorrow's going to be up, tomorrow's going to be down, Microsoft up, Amazon down, right? They can't predict the future either. And I can always prove it by quoting the New York Jets football coach who said, Dan Mora, is it Dan Mora? I believe it is. You don't know, you can't know, and you'll never know. He was talking about football, what's going to happen on the field, but you can't know what's going to happen tomorrow in the market. You don't know, you can't know, and you'll never know. And if someone in the history of trading knew, they wouldn't tell you, they wouldn't tell me. If I knew, I wouldn't tell you. I'd just put all my money on the thing that I knew was going to win. And I would have all the money in the world in about 17, 18 days. However, no one's ever done that because they can't know, they don't know, and they'll never know. So all we do is try and play the math. So you say, well, Rob, how well have you done? I've said, I keep telling you guys over and over and over again that here are the numbers, right? Is we win 57% of the time. That means we lose 43% of the time. We've only lost 5 days in a row. Our Sharpe ratio is 3.28. Our max drawdown is 3.8 because we're very conservative on what we do. 57% of our trades win, 57% of our days are winners. That means we have losers. If you're not used to losing, then playing with math is not the way for you. I'm going to lose 43% of the time. I lost $91,000 the other day in one day. That was my worst day ever. Did it bother me? No, absolutely not. Why not? I keep going back to the same thing over and over and over again. Scoreboard, right? Scoreboard. This is what you want to look at. Look at this. This is the $1 million account and the $30,000 account mixed together. This is the $1 million account. Look at these charts. They're virtually identical. This is a $30,000 account. This is a multi-million dollar account. Look at the charts. They're virtually identical. What's the same thing they do? They play with math. We're not, look, I used to be a professional card player in casinos. I was not a gambler. I was a mathematician. They invited me to leave after several years because I said, well, you're not treating me like other gamblers. They said, no, because you're not another gambler. You're a mathematician in the casino. You've got the money to play through down days, or what we call drawdowns or losing streaks. You know the rules. You have a system, and we can't get you off it. We keep trying to give you booze or tickets or whatever to try and get you to make mistakes. If I played $5,000 a hand blackjack, I knew I win if I followed my rules. I got special rules for myself. If I followed my rules, I would make half a unit, $2,500 every single hour. I would play 10 hours a day. So I would routinely make 25 grand a day. Great. I loved it. I built the largest online education company in the world on the internet. I took it public and retired at age 42. I didn't have anything else to do. My grandpa and grandma were mathematicians. They taught probabilities, math, and German for 40 years at college. They taught me that my phone number was the square root of 2 at 8 years old, and I've been a nerd ever since. So playing cards in the casino was perfect for me, right? It was absolutely perfect, but they asked me to leave. That's when I learned about options, and Maria and I started doing that. I saw 57%. I only won 50.5% in the casino, 50.5%. In the options, I win 57%. People say, well, would you ever go back to playing cards? No. Are you kidding me? Absolutely. Number one, I got to go to Vegas all the time. Number two, it's so boring. It's so freaking boring. And if you get off your game, if I made a mistake once per hour, I would lose $7,500 that hour, all right? So you cannot make a mistake. With options, it's a piece of cake. 57 to 43. I got, what is that? 14% advantage rather than a half, times 2 is 1. So I have a 14 times better chance in options than I ever did in a casino. I wish I'd found out about this earlier. I would have had a lot more. Let's put it that way. Okay. So I love this stuff. I live for it. I absolutely live for it. But you got to understand that you're not going to win every day, right? You're not going to win every trade. And so you got to live with that. Many is a day where I'm up $5,000 in the morning. By noon, I'm down 30,000. By afternoon, I'm up 16 and I finish up 40. And I can go the other way as well. You just got to get used to that. Let's go to the chat room and see what you guys have to say. We'll go to Tasty Trade and look at those. Look at the chart. Well, look at this. It's holding its own up there, but it's hardly even moving because we just don't got that much juice in it. Let's see if I can just get to NQ/NQ. See if that gives me a little better chart. There it is. So it's a little bit better chart. And there we are it looks like we're about ready to hit highs of the day. I like to look at the NQ. So we're up 220 points. Great. All right. So Rob, does your screen show the date that I showed you those dirty dogs? Do you get in when you see a 300-point drop, or let it go until you think it's stopped falling? Nelly, I never try and predict the market. Remember, you can't know, don't know, never know. We have a joke in our family. It's called the 50-50 rule. I believe that the market is absolutely random. It is 50-50. If someone says, what's the chance of Microsoft going up tomorrow? I say 50-50. What's the chance of Microsoft going down tomorrow? 50-50. Amazon, NVIDIA. What's the chance of Trump putting out a tweet? 50-50. It's all 50-50. You don't know, you can't know, you never know. So all you got to do, forget about investing. We don't invest. I'm not an investor. I wouldn't know how to invest, right? I don't know about companies or charts or the financials or who's in charge. And by the way, the knowledge that I have about it is extremely limited. And by the time I get it, it's already gone through millions of other investors, right? If as a retail trader, you don't know nothing, right? The hedge funds know way before you. What I do know is human nature. And I've seen this when I was in the casinos all the time. If you are a robot, you can't spell robot without R-O-B. If you're a robot trader, right, and you got a plan, if you got a plan and you stick to the plan, right, and that's the hardest thing. Developing a plan is hard. Sticking to the plan is even harder. I can't tell you how many traders I hear say, Rob, I started following you on YouTube. I lost 4 days in a row. Psh, your plan doesn't work. I say, I don't know what to tell you. I traded 28,000 times in the last 158 days, 28,000 times. And it works if you trade a lot, right? It's like flipping a coin. And if you flipped it 3 times and you came up heads all 3 times, would you say, well, that coin's going to always come up heads? Of course not. Of course not. You know, if you flip a coin 10 times, it's going to have about an 80% probability of being 50-50. If you flip it 100 times, it might be 90%. If you flip it 400 times, it might be 99.1%. If you flip it 10 million times, it's probably 99.999999999 whatever that it's going to be 50-50. So all we want to do is we want to look at where did all these other people, where are they trading? We want to trade somewhere else. And let's look at 7 million trades over the last 6 months, and we'll pick out the best 150. We trade about 150 trades a day. And are those 150 going to be the best 150 this week? Probably not. They might not be in the top 200. They might not be in the top 1,000. They might not be in the top 5,000. Heck, they might not be in the top 10,000. That's okay with me as long as they're in the top of the top 7 million. If they're in the top 100,000, if they're in the top 200,000, great. If they're in the top million, great, right? Can I do things to make it better? Sure, but I'm happy with where I am. I'm happy with the rate of return. I mean, how could you possibly be upset with this kind of return? I mean, you can't be. You just can't be upset with that. So, all right, so let's do it. How do I join your trades? How can I get involved with using the robots? And how do you learn more about your way of trading? And look at this. This is a new person in the chat room. First of all, subscribe, right? Next, go to, let's see if I have a PowerPoint on that. I know that I do. Here's where you want to go. Boop, boop, ba-doop. There it is, tradingdeskcapital.com. You sign up for our newsletter there. We also have an academy that we just started, and we gave out scholarships for the first 20 people or so, and we had a boatload of people that signed up for that. We gave out those 20 scholarships, and that Founders Club is going strong. We are thinking about opening another group up in a month or 2. The only way you're going to get in it is if you're in the email. Even on tradingdeskcapital.com, there are some requirements to get into the next cohort, and there is a second sign-in. If you're interested in that, sign in there. You will have to give us more information and you have to go through a personal interview with me before we let you in to that. It is not just a pay-to-play type situation. We had a lot of people offer us a lot of money. I had a couple of hedge funds offer me millions of dollars to just close this thing down and go trade for them. I'm not interested in doing that. I am interested in creating a group of traders that can help one another to beat the hedge funds. That's really my goal. That's what I'm living for. I'm not doing it for the money. All right, I just am not. So next question. And by the way, thank you, Azar Farhagwa, for asking that. And the check is in the mail for asking that. Thank you very much. Do you guys have a video on the scalping that Maria's son does? Tyler, I would like to learn that. Is it manual? RJL, I would like to learn that as well. I would like to learn that as well. Tyler has tried to teach me. I'll tell you what I did that's actually doable. You know what? I don't mind doing this. He'll have a conniption when hopefully he's not watching. You know what we can do? It's kind of fun. Let's do this. MNQ. All right, we're going to go to the MNQs, right? The MNQs are 1/10 the size. So it's fun. It's smaller, right? It's smaller. So let's look for, I think it has something to do with you watch it going up or down, and let's see if we get confirmation. If we get 3 greens, we'll go ahead and put this bad boy in. So let's see where we are. Over here, you're watching where the numbers are. You can see the volume. The problem is the spreads are so big. That's the problem with these dirty dogs right now. And we're not getting confirmation. So let me go over to the chat room. Do you guys have a video on scalping? No, we don't have a video. If you have no CIs in, what's your tranche size for the initial entry? Always 1 at a time, or sometimes more, 5 at a time. It depends. If you don't have $1 million in your account, I would say absolutely 1 at a time. If you're just starting for the first time, absolutely just 1 at a time. Also, remember this. If you're going to put on an NQ, let's say, all right, at Crazy Ivan, I would recommend, let's not do that. Let's do the table. All right, if you're going to go in for your first time ever, let's say we're going to go in and we're looking at doing this. This is $14,000 in buying power, $3,000. But if we get this is $3,000 premium. You close at 25%, it's $1,000. They're going to close out on an average of every 14 days. So you're going to make $26,000 on $14,000. You get a couple losers in there. We haven't had any for a while, but if you did, now it's going to bring your percentage down to like 100% rate of return, or 80%. Here's what I would do the first time. I would do this. I would go down at least say 250, and I would just pop in a long put. So now you're only risking $1,000. You're going to make 25% of 420. You might let it go run to 50% if you wanted to, but that's what I would do. In addition, if we had a gigantic drop, this is going to, your loss is going to be stopped out. If you really wanted to be a little bit tight on it, you could do it like this. Only use $500 in buying power, and your max profit's 175. If you're out at 25%, you're going to get what, 50 or $40 you'll make in profit. The problem is you're going to get beat up on these spreads and the commission, right? Because now you got two spreads. So I'd like it like this, but I sure wouldn't do it at $10 spread. There's no way, Jose. I would not do the MNQs. The MNQs are really going to kill you on the commissions and fees, and it's not as liquid a market. But I would definitely go, if you wanted to sign up for the scholarship but didn't have a $100,000 card, any future account for a smaller account like $30,000. Yes, we are evaluating that. Okay, we are evaluating that, especially with the PDT rules. We're evaluating that. It will not be as comprehensive. The Founders Club is a very, very high touch training program. I spend a lot of time personally, one-on-one and one-on-many. I have a group meeting today with all 21 people at 7 o'clock. That might run 2 hours. And that is routine for us. So it is a very, very high touch, and I just don't have the time. If I had the time, I would try and do that. I want to try and help every small trader. Anybody under $50 million is a small trader. If you're under $50 million, I would like to help you. If you're really under 10 million, I'd like to help you. And so that's kind of where I'm at in that. But I will try and come up with something. Maria is working on a program for people that have never traded. We've got a lot of I want to be politically correct. I would say wives, but they would say partners because not all of them are wives, and they are new to this, right? So they've got the lead person, which could be a boy or a girl, and then they have the other person who could be a boy or a girl and the lead person has done it trading for a while, and the other has not. And that's how Maria started, by the way. Maria had zero interest in, she was a house flipper, #1 female house flipper in the United States, we think. And she was not interested in the options market or trades or anything like that. And then she figured out a way to make trades. If you've never been there, go to mariashoetrade.com, www.mariashoetrade.com. I ought to put that on my deck, on my PowerPoint deck. mariashoetrade.com is a funny website I built without her permission, which shows her, because she is a shoe addict, and she's not down here in the studio with me tonight. Today it's in our basement, so she's up there trading, scalping probably. But she likes these Christian Louboutin shoes, and she started working on a way to trade, and that worked out fantastic for her. And that trade took off on Tasty Trade. The guys on Tasty Trade love to have her come on and to talk with her on screen and to do. As you can understand, as Seinfeld once says, Maria has many of the attributes prized by the superficial male, if you will. The superficial male prizes a lot of her attributes, and so those pigs at Tasty Trade loved it. It's fine. They were all in good fun. And she grew up in Brooklyn, about 7 blocks away from Tony Batista, who is one of the co-founders of Tasty Trade. And they are about the same age and would have gone to the same high school. But Maria's mother decided it was probably a good idea to move out to Long Island, away from those Italian boys like Tony Batista, before she went to high school. And Tony Batista has confirmed that was a good idea. So maybe Maria doesn't really do the scalping as much. When I say scalping, she does more like a hold. Let me show you what Maria does is different than what I do. She does the Qs, but Maria's a much better trader than me, right? If you're going to follow somebody, I would definitely follow Maria. What she does is goes out like, say, 24 days, and she will go at 18 delta, so much more aggressive, right? Much more aggressive. She doesn't care about doing the hundreds. And look at this. It's starting to squeeze a little bit. Now we're down to 6.5 wide. What was it, 20 or 30? So she will go out here, and she'll put this on. Now notice she's going to use a lot more buying power. She's going to get paid some more gravy. She might go here depending on what the open interest is. She likes to look at that a lot. And the open interest is bigger. You see at 28,000, it's pretty big. So she might go here. She likes it where there's a lot of liquidity, because what's going to happen is if this number, like 29,788, gets down within 500 of this number, then she'll roll it down and out. For me, I like 250. So if you're looking at my 47 here, and what I say, 12 delta-ish is going to be somewhere around, say right here. So, and look at that. Now it's down to 9. It was at 30. So now when I'm at 27,000, it's at 30,000. So that's 3,000. If it got down to within 250, then I would roll it down and out. That's what I do. And that means you have to set an alarm. It is 23/5 trading. So 23 hours a day, 5 days a week. For you people that are just starting out, again, stick a green there, maybe start there, something like that, so that you have a very small risk. When you look at what my risk is $500,000 per trade, right? And I have 60 of these on at once. Now, I'm in a unique situation. I get it. But nevertheless, I got to tell you, this is how I trade. So it is what it is. If you are in a different situation, you probably are. Start off easy. Start off small. In the casino, people always ask me, Rob, I want to trade I want to play cards just like you. How much should I bet? I say, okay, and this is how much money I have. I say, okay, I don't care how much money you have. I'm cheap, all right? I have some money, but I don't risk it all. I'm cheap, all right? There's $5 on the ground. I'll go get it, beat you to it, and I'll tell you about it 2 years from now. That's how cheap I am. So I'm like George Costanza. I'm very careful with money. So what I do is I told people, take whatever you're willing to lose. How much are you willing to? Well, I got $100,000 and I'm willing to lose $50,000. Okay, so if you lost $50,000, you're okay. Well, no, I'm not. No, I mean, I don't want to lose $50,000. I said, well, okay, if you do my system, you could lose $50,000. Okay, whatever you're willing to lose, just tell me the number. And $30,000. I got 100 in the account. At Caesar's Palace, but I only want to lose 25. Okay, fine. Divide that by 100, $250. That's your bet. Yeah, but you're betting 5,000. Yes, I am. But my risk tolerance is higher than yours. I am willing to lose more than you are willing to lose. And so, I'm willing to lose $1 million. If you're willing to lose 25,000 or 30,000, your bet's going to be different than mine because we are going to have max drawdowns. We're only going to win 50.5% of the time. So it is not unreasonable for us to lose 20 hands in a row, right? And so if you're betting with 1%, that means you're going to be down 20%. So you don't want to be betting 5% because you lose 20 in a row. That's everything. You lost your $30,000. And here's the game. The game is not to win every hand. The game is to win in the long run. The game is to have enough money to be ready for the next hand of blackjack or to be ready for the next option trading tomorrow. You got to have money in order to get in the game. And remember, if you're here and you lose 50%, you got to win 100% to get back, right? Because if you got 100 grand, you go down to 50 grand. Now you got to double that 50 grand to get back at 100. So understand the math, right? When we started, I said you need to understand all the risk. You have to understand the risk. However, if you understand the risk, not to use gang signs, but it's math makes money, MMM, right? That's the whole game. All right, so can't see the screen, Rob. You can't see the screen. Which screen, me or the Tasty Trade screen? I don't know which one. Oh, the Tasty Trade screen. Sorry about that. So let me show you again. So Maria, did I not have it on this for Maria? So let's do this. For Maria, she's going to go out something like 24 days. She's going to go to 16 or 18 delta, something like that. And she's going to use 17,000 to get 3,300. That's going to be her game. And look at that. Now we're getting down to what, $6 spread. That was 30. Those are dirty dogs. And again, if you're new to the game, I would just put in something like this. It's going to really cut down your risk. If you really want to start for fun, just put it like this, and you're going to only risk $725 to make 230. Close it at 25%. Now, I will say Maria closes at 50%. She does not close at 25%. Every day for 60 years, I've had iced tea, apple cider vinegar, lemon, and it used to be sugar when I was younger, but now I use fake sugar. Man, I love that. I put a little lemonade in it today, mixed it up because it's a holiday. So let's see what else we got to talk about here. These are the trades. Find us on Instagram. Yeah. We have to limit count. Yep. And then we do 351 trades. So at least you get the idea here of what it is we're doing, right? I'll just leave it there. So, all right. So if you want here, if you got time, I got time. I got nothing to do. I got a 7 o'clock meeting. Oh, that's in 25 minutes. So let's see if we can't. You want to try and make a little money? Let's try and make a little money. We're not supposed to do this. Maria's not here. Let's do this. I don't think Tyler's watching either. They're not in the chat room. So let's do a little scalpy and see what happens, right? Worst we can do is lose a couple $100. All right. So now I set this up OTCO, right? So let's see how I set it up. Where's, I don't remember, a preset. Here it is. So I set it up. So let's make it so I can't lose much money. We'll set it where 110 wide, right? So 110 wide. I don't know how much money that is, but it's not much. It's a couple $100. Maybe not even a couple hundred save. All right. So now, all right, look at this. All right. So now this thing, it looks like it's rolling over. If we get one more red candle, I'm going to go in. And I'm going to go into, I think we're going to get momentum to the downside. I think this is a no-brainer right now. This is a no-brainer. Where we're going to get, size me up, boss. Can you see all this down here? I don't know if you can. Can you see that? All right, you can't see it because I got to shrink this down a little bit. Here we go. Hold on a second. I want to get you the whole screen so you can see what the heck I'm doing. There it is. So now you can see the whole screen. You can see what I'm doing. I'm going to be down here. I'm centering this thing. I want to center. And all right, this is not exactly what I want. I want a little bit of a down move is what I want. This is looking to me like it's up move. This might be a short. Again, they're really risky. A lot of people like to do this on the 5-minute candle, but we don't have time to do the 5-minute. If you do the 5-minute candle, I mean, this is a no-brainer to the upside, right? I mean, it's this is the third confirmation, and that's where you would go, and you'd say, okay, you know what? Let's do this to the upside. I want to go to the upside. So we want to buy this. If we want to buy, that means we think it's going to go up. So since March, have been doing on NQ and over 15 trades so far. 25% have never taken more than 3 days. This is Demunda saying, and 50% never more than 9 days. Is the 14 days average your state for 25% really conservative? I don't know if we call it conservative. We've had a good run. Don't be fooled. We're at all-time highs. But yeah, it's 14 days has been my experience. If you back test it, that's what it is. And I back tested back 4 years. It's 14 days. That's been my experience. It might be 13.8, something like that. But I like to be a little conservative on the YouTube because if I say 14 days and it turns out to be 14.8, here they come. They love that power of sitting behind a keyboard. All right, let's see what we got. You guys want to do something here? Let's just come on. I'm anxious to get in. Let's just try something. All right, let's see if we can get one. All right, boom. I'm going to go ahead and in here. I'm going to see if I can get, and we're going to run this to the upside. So there it is. Let's see if we get a fill. I got to get my sound on. All right, let's see. It hasn't got a fill yet. It's got to go. There it is. Boom. All right, now I've already got the way I set it up. I don't have to do anything. I just sit back, and we're either gonna until now we're up $2. See how it's up here? We've made $3 and we're up $3.50, $2, $2.50. We want green. This is a 5-minute candle, right? And you can see it would automatically put in the stop loss and the profit target, right? So that's where we are. So that's, and we're up to, and it tells you in real time, right? We're up to 50. Now I could put on another one and show you another one, right? So we are in the game. We're in the game, boys and girls. If Tyler and Maria see that I'm scalping, they're going to run down here. Remember, I'm doing the MMQ, so it's small, right? It's a lot of fun. They're real tight. Tight is right. Tight is right, especially when you're starting out. And I am absolutely starting out. I do not pretend to know what the hell I'm doing. I do not pretend to know what the heck I'm doing. So let's just see how this thing moves. You want to really dangerous here. Do you use order cancels? Order? No, I do for SPX, but not on these. On these, I just put, it's a limit order and a stop loss order is what I do. So I got a limit order here and a stop loss order here. So I can lose down here. I don't know how much money, and I can win up there. So you can see it's not moving much. Maybe it's 100, 150 bucks, 200 bucks, win or lose. That's what it is. And so it's small, but I want it to be wide enough so I just don't get stopped out instantly one way or the other by just pure luck. Not that there's any skill involved in here by me anyway, but you can see, look at this. And so now I don't know if you can see where let's smoosh that in a little bit. So you can see where our stops are, right? And so we are just waiting for it to go one way or the other. That's what it is. And this is kind of exciting. Do you use order cancels or no? Okay, so you guys, I think I'm up to date on the chat room. All right, so if you think I'm going to win, give me a up. No, I don't like using L's. You know what? Don't worry about it. We're gonna see what we can do. Any other questions for how I trade? I know I've been on here a long time. Anybody else got any other questions? This is just a little bit of live trading. I don't know how to to rip. I got to get out of here because I got to get something to eat, and I only got 20 minutes till my Founders Club folks are going to be there, and I got 2 hours of talking on that today. So even though it's a holiday, can you drop a hint of the iced tea brand interesting and trying? I cannot. I got in huge trouble from YouTube for saying the name of the tea that I used. But if you go and look for dry powder instant iced tea with lemon and no sugar, it is extremely difficult to find the kind that my grandma used to make back when I was, 8 years old, which was 60 years ago. And she made sun tea at the time. But I like to do instant tea because I'm lazy. But any instant tea will do. I like the one with fake sugar and lemon in it, and then I add apple cider vinegar. And I love apple cider vinegar. I think the taste is atrocious. But when you put in iced tea, it's actually pretty good. So, okay, let's see where we are with Tasty Trade. We are just cruising down. Just my luck that it's going to cruise down the middle, when I'm trying to impress everybody with my skill, which I have none. You know what? I wonder if I can move this over a little bit like this so you can see it a little better. But you can see, can you see up here and see my profit and loss? It's small. We're down $11, $13. I can close this out anytime I want. I can also move, what I can do? Here's something really, really cool. Let's do this. We'll move this down. I don't know. There's some way where you can tell. Tyler said there's a way where you can tell what your profit would be if you move it, but I can move that. Look at how it changes the trade and see the trade come in. And then, I don't know, if you get scared, you start running the other way, but I got to get out of here. So I'm just going to move this in a little bit and see if we can't get a fill going one way or the other. If I get back to break even, I'll probably just go ahead and get out because I only now got 19 minutes to eat. So let's bring this in tight and see what happens here. This may not be the smartest move in the world, but you can see all these. You can't see them, but these are. It's updating my trades as I just move it. It does it in real time. It's kind of a cool product that Tasty Trade has got here, and so we're going to just keep going here. I love. If you think I'm going to win today, make money on this, give me a W. If you think I'm going to lose, give me an L. W for the win, L for the loss. What are we going to do? W for the win, L for the loss. Tell me how much money you think I should try for. $10 or less than $10. More or less than $10. That's what I need to know. We're down $3.50. Seems like we've been doing this for a long time for $4, right? I got 19 minutes to go before I eat. If Tyler and Maria find out, I'm in big doo-doo to make $4. How about that? Hal M says he is convinced I'm going to win. Hal, I like your style. I hope you're right. Now I'm down. Hey, there it is, green. Come on, green. There's $1.50. There's a break even. Now I'm down 50 cents. To watch out, the auctioneer will start coming out in me. My grandpa was an auctioneer from the other side of the family. $1, $2.50. All right, I'm going to start squeezing this down. I got to get out of here, go get something to eat. All right, let's squeeze it both ways. In fairness, let's keep the loss limit small. So this is going to be plus or minus $10. I can't believe we're doing this. This is so much fun. I do love this. I am a trading addict. I am an absolute trading addict. I hope you guys are too. Nothing wrong with being a trading addict as long as you keep it under control. And as long as you're using the math, you will. This thing is just not going to fill, is it? This is not going to fill. Here's what I think I'm going to do. Oh, we're getting to the upside. There we are. Up. Oh, $1. Nope. Come on up. We need to get this thing filled. You know what? Let's make it more like this. And now we can get a little bit more movement. A little bit. There's down $3.50. You can see. I hope you can read this. This is the biggest it gets on the screen. So I don't know if we. There we're up 50 cents. I should do this live. I got 35 people watching. If you guys find it interesting, I'll do a whole bunch of these if you guys want. I love doing this. I could do this all night long. I don't know. You know what? How about we have a little music? How about? Let me tell you. Does that help or not? Is that helpful or not? There, I put on a little music. Tell me music yes, music no. Music yes or music no. Tell me music yes, music no. You should be able to hear it. Music yes, music no in the chat. Look at this. There it is. How about that? Huh? Oh my gosh. What did we get out at? It doesn't say P&L for the day. I don't know why. I think we just got, look at that. A big spike to the upside. How about that? I think we got out at about $17. Something like that. Did anybody, where the heck is it, right? Look at all the trades we did. So all symbols. Here it is, MNQ. And we got in at 27. 696, and we got it out at 1805. I don't know. It's normally supposed to say up here the P&L, but it's not doing that. You know what you can do is go to history, and here it is. I won $18 after expenses, $15.16. I don't know if you can see that or not, but $15 and say more trades. No, I got to go, Malachi. What do you guys think about the music? Can you hear the music or no? Can you hear that music or no? I will do more trades. If you guys like this, I'll do this some other time. I like that. Look at that to the upside. There's a big spike. Who knows why? And now the market's up 244. No music. You don't like the music? Okay, I'll turn the music on. Down. No, anybody else want to talk about the music? And no music. Okay? Boom. How about that? No music. All right, guys and gals, thank you very much. That'll pay for your iced tea. Yeah, that'll pay for my iced tea for about a month. All right, thank you. Look at that. I only got 15 minutes before I got to eat dinner and be back here to do some more. But, man, that was kind of fun. I got to tell you, I'm a trading addict. Don't let Maria and Tyler know that I did that. I'll talk to you guys later. Thank you very much. I am out of here in 3, 2, 1. You are looking live, and I will see you tomorrow, 5:55. And we'll do some live trading tomorrow, 5:55. I'll give you the trades for the week, and we'll do some trading tomorrow. Thanks a lot, and I'll see you later. Maria, 206 people.